What is up, everybody? Thank you for joining me. This is Jay Dumont, aka Asirius, watching Amiri chop on a wooden dummy. About to light a cigarette. And yeah, thanks for joining me. Happy to say that episode 2 seemed to be a success with the audio and visual matching up. So that's a good thing. We'll see how it goes in editing. Episode 1 has been put in. Is he using a tablet or phone right now? What it kind of looks like. Alright, so in this episode, we are going to get to know Amiri and Valerie, our other two companions, a little bit more. And then we're going to travel to the Thorn Ford River in search of a bandit camp. So let's get into it. We're going to talk. Amiri utters a weary sigh. Alright, spill it. I'm listening. We're just talking. You don't like it? Amiri shrugs several times, perhaps flexing her muscles or maybe just filling in the silence. Dunno, she admits at last. Depends what we're going to talk about. If it's about monsters or swords or scars, I approve. That's good. And if you're going to ask questions like why and what for and how, screw this. Amiri looks you over slowly head to toe. Or you got even harder ones. Tell me about yourself. This simple question seems to puzzle Amiri. She scratches her head and starts counting on her fingers. First, I'm a barbarian. I'm strong. I grew up in the realm of the Mammoth Lords. Left my tribe, the Six Bears. Amiri looks thoughtfully at her four bent fingers and shrugs. And I like fights, she concludes, bending her thumb. Realm of the Mammoth Lord is a realm of megafauna inhabited by humans almost as savage as the prehistoric beasts surrounding them. The realm of the Mammoth Lord is the land in Avastan's far north that is home to a myriad nomadic tribes of Kelid barbarians. In the far north. Kind of like Icewind Dale. What's it like to be a barbarian in the Six Bears tribe? Ha! Our people are big and strong. We can cut a monster in half with one swing. We can walk 3 days and nights with no rest. We can eat a whole fried aurochs. I guess you had to do a lot of training to become as strong as you are. Training? Ha ha ha. No one freaking trained me. The boys of the Six Bears got the training. All I could do was watch. Amiri's eyes gleam with anger. And you know what? They were still crap even after all that training because I kicked their butts hard. Animals, bandit monsters, all thought they were way stronger than me. Idiots. Amiri spits on the ground. Because if you start a fight, you think you can win. You think you're stronger than your enemy. Amiri raises her chin proudly. I defeated them all. See the scars on my face? What does the realm of the Mammoth Lords look like? Huge and freezing, no place for weaklings. Amiri narrows her eyes as if evaluating your ability to survive her homeland. Tribes hunt aurochs to survive. Tribes hunt aurochs herds to survive. Aurochs are fast, so tribe follow herd for days, just to not die of hunger. If you are weak, you stay behind and die in the snow. Tribe cannot stop. Also, there are giants and mammoths, sometimes demons too. Ah, and the mastodons, and the saber-toothed tigers, Amiri grins. You would survive, I think, for a few days, huh? Why'd you leave your tribe? Amiri flushes. Because they were assholes, all of them. Men were cowards and scoundrels, and women were scared like sheep. Amiri rolls her bloodshot eyes in fury. Men think no girl can be a fighter, because they are weak. They are afraid a woman can beat them. And females just nod. Go sew hides, cook meat, watch kids. That's what they always say. But I'm a warrior, damn it. I won't cook hides and watch meat. Amiri is already shouting, her fists clenched tightly. I told them so. I went hunting with men, and what did I get? Still the same. You are a woman. You stay home. Even gave me a nickname, the Soft Chieftain. Like a warrior woman was a funny joke. Damn, I even want to hunt those shit-faced frost giants, and there. Amiri suddenly stops, breathing heavily, sweat beading on her forehead. After a moment, Amiri waves her hand awkwardly and forces herself to grin. So I left. Cowards, scoundrels, and sissies they were, that's why. Okay. You're quite a good fighter. Amiri jerks her head up. Quite good, huh? Compared to who? If I was a crappy male, I'd fight better. Is that what you say? She glares at you, her eyes narrow. Or you say I could be better, like go get some training, Amiri, right? Well, you're a very good fighter. You're an excellent warrior. I've just given you a compliment, that's all. For several more seconds, Amiri continues to glare at your face with suspicion. Then, all of a sudden, she mellows. True, I fight good. That's what I do best. I'm not gonna tell her she's rude, even though she is, kinda. So why'd you leave your tribe, and what's the story about the Frost Giants? I told you already, they were assholes. They treat women like sheep, not fighters. Amiri frowns. As for giants, I'll tell you later, someday. Maybe. That's a formidable sword, but it's not just a simple weapon, is it? You bet it's not simple. Check out how big it is. She proudly raises the blade, and you notice that, even though Amiri is extremely strong, she still has difficulty wielding such a large sword. This sword belonged to a real blasted frost giant. I killed the beast and took this looker for myself. Fits me perfect. My damn trophy. Amiri's eyes flash with menace, as if she's challenging some invisible enemy to try taking away her trophy. Thanks for talking with me. Let's speak again later. Talking. Why don't we do some monster killing instead? Amiri sighs and turns away. Finally, we'll talk to Valerie. Greetings, Valerie sighs. Everything is well, I hope? I'm ready for new orders. You're so eager to follow my orders. Why? What do you mean, why? Valerie looks at you in bewilderment. I follow your orders. I've joined your campaign because I have faith in you. I believe your intentions to be noble, though things may not always turn out as you've planned. You are my commander. Your orders are law. It's my duty to follow them. Valerie hesitates for a moment. Well, so long as you don't order me to do something that's absolutely dishonorable, but that would never happen, I hope. Tell me about yourself. What exactly would you like to know? I was born to a noble family, although I didn't remain long on the family estate. My father sent me to the Order of the Eternal Rose, but I left once I realized that it didn't match my principles. Where are you from? What was your childhood like? I was born in Brevoy, but in fact I'd never seen much of the country. I spent my childhood on a remote estate owned by my noble family. My father's a respectable philanthropist and benefactor of the Church of Shaylin. He's also a renowned private collector and a great admirer of the arts. My mother saw to my education personally. From the early years I learned good manners, how to behave at the dinner table, and the proper form of words for every occasion. I also learned the difference between true nobles and low-born upstarts, and I learned how to treat them, each of them, properly. Our home was always under the protection of several paladins of Shaylin. My father has donated a handsome sum to their order. One of them, a man of venerable age with a gray beard, once let me touch his shining armor. I still remember the admiration I felt when I touched the cold, polished steel. Valerie smiles. Of all the memories of my childhood, that one is somehow the warmest one. Warmest with the cold steel. Why were you sent to the Paladin Order of the Eternal Rose? As you can imagine, for my first days I was surrounded by crowds of servants and nannies who'd never stopped praising my heavenly beauty. The paladins of Shaylin who used to visit our house echoed their praises. In the end, general consensus overwhelmed my father's better judgment. When I turned 6, I was brought to the Church of Shaylin and told that this would be my new home. Don't pity me, though, I beg of you. Many who hear this story immediately assume that my parents were cruel and had no love for their child. Valerie's eyes become stern. My parents had respect for me. They taught me something that supported me all of my life, a sense of self-esteem. Besides, they didn't abandon me. Once every 6 months they would come and visit me at the Order of the Eternal Rose. We had some tea and then had an hour to walk around the garden. Then they would take their leave as etiquette demanded. Once every 6 months? What did they teach you in the order? A variety of things. Some of them appealed to me, others I simply couldn't accept. I enjoyed the physical activities and swordsmanship, but the arts, calligraphy, painting, poetry, So many other ways to waste one's time. Valerie sighs. I guess that deep in my heart I always knew I'd be a true paladin of Shaylin. Wielding a sword always felt more natural to me than handling a paintbrush. Why'd you leave the order? Because of my heavenly beauty. Valerie winces in contempt. According to Shaylin's laws, all art is sacred, whatever form it takes. Severe punishments await those who dare harm a painting, sculpture, or poem, no matter how worthless the drivel might be. My looks always attracted unwanted attention from the pilgrims and acolytes of the temple. I received my first poem, dedicated to me when I was 9. The author was some wealthy geezer. Valerie's lips thin in contempt. And that is only the beginning. Sculptures, pictures, poems, I was drowning in them. My admirers mobbed me, and I had to respectfully accept all their garbage. The clerics of the temple were magnanimous, for my suitors made generous offerings to the church. But one time I just snapped. Barely suppressed anger glitters across Valerie's eyes. Some wealthy idiot has dedicated an extremely untalented poem to me, and he had the nerve to read it right to my face, holding my sleeve. The hour was late, and I was on my way to get some rest after a boring lesson on rhymes. I lost control and tore the poem apart right in front of him. Valerie raises her head proudly. The paladins wanted to impose some punishment upon me. I don't remember which one exactly. They wanted me to repent. Instead, I just gathered my things and left. You destroyed art, Valerie. Just putting some lotion on here. What did you do after you left the order? I set off to Restov, Valerie shrugs. I wanted to get as far away as possible from Shaylin and the destiny everyone seems so ready to force upon me. Besides, the School of Swordsmanship in Restov has quite a decent reputation. Honestly, I was hoping for an opportunity to learn from the famous Alduri masters. Eventually it became clear that their technique wasn't a good fit for me. They teach to avoid impact, whereas I prefer to raise my shield. But my abilities and skills, which I learned at the Order of the Eternal Rose, were enough to make the Sword Lords take an interest in me. They offered me a chance to join the mercenaries who serve the Sword Lords, and I accepted. I bet your beauty inspired many people in the Order. Valerie's gaze suddenly becomes cold, and here I'd hoped to avoid the question. She exhales loudly. Well, let's get this over with once and for all. You should understand that I am perfectly aware that most races, orders, and genders find me physically attractive. It's beyond my power to change that, but I've never given a potential admirer any reason to start a conversation with me. But it doesn't stop them. After leaving the order, I took a dagger and cut off the long hair they used to praise. Well, now I get letters praising the heavenly beauty of my eyes. It was because of my appearance that I ended up in the Order of the Eternal Rose, though I never wanted to be a paladin. It was because of my beauty that an infinite number of suitors have pursued me, all of them confusing simple politeness with hints of affection. Valerie clenches her fists. But you know what I really want? I want people to stop treating me like a piece of art. I want them to notice that I'm a person, that I'm capable of something more than smiling for paintings, where I sit wearing a lacy satin dress holding a basket of peaches in my lap. Is that too much to ask? The last question comes out in a shout, though Valerie doesn't seem to realize it. I know what you mean, but still, you shouldn't drive people away who only want to open their hearts to you. It's not their fault that you inspire such feelings. You're talking like my mentor at the Order used to, but then Valerie regains her self-control and hides her contempt behind her polite mask. Let's change the subject. You have my attention. Valerie bows politely. Tell me the way of Shaylin and about her paladins. Shaylin is a goddess of love, beauty, and art. Her paladins are something like armored artists. That's how they like to think of themselves, at least. Valerie tries to contain her feelings, but her inner contempt bursts forth. They are fanatical defenders of worthless, inartistic paintings and meaningless opuses, if you care to know my opinion. Huh. You speak of Shaylin with such contempt. What did the goddess of beauty do to earn your anger? She's been trying to ruin my life, Valerie snorts. Shaylin, the goddess of everything useless that ever existed in this life. All the beauty in the world, all the art, all the soulful sighs in the moonlight, they'll never feed a single family. And I beg you to restrain yourself from offering your own opinion. Trust me, I've heard everything you can tell me more than once. Nothing and nobody can change my mind. Valerie looks at you with suspicion. As for Shaylin, she's the goddess of idlers. I almost joined her preposterous entourage. Just glad I was smart enough to denounce her while I still could. What do paladins of Shaylin usually do? They wander around seeking the next pile of garbage, and when they find it they call it an immortal piece of art and admire it until they're blue in the face. You might not believe this, but the paladins of Shaylin aren't allowed to slay their enemies if they beg for mercy. Can you guess why? Because a bandit, rapist, or murderer who has been put to the sword will never be able to create something beautiful in the future. So a paladin overpowers her enemy in battle, then inspires him to create a masterpiece. Valerie's face reflects extreme disgust. Might sound hilarious if it weren't true. Plus, all of Shaylin's followers are obliged to practice some sort of art in his or her free time. Every single day, no matter what else is going on, even if you're feeling sick or hungry or sleepy. Otherwise, according to their clerics, you lose your connection with your goddess. A preposterous notion, wouldn't you agree? Just finishing my coffee here. I understand that not every piece of art is good or even decent, but surely there must be at least a few great works among them. Is that what you think? Valerie curves an eyebrow, mocking amazement. Many share that delusion. I was deluded too for a while. Now I consider all works of art useless. People create this garbage because they have nothing better to do. The peasant doesn't paint a picture, he plows the earth to feed his family. The soldier has no time for sculpture, he must defend his homeland. But idlers and slackers have plenty of time to waste, so they smear canvases with paint and imagine they've done something worthy and valuable. Valerie shakes her head in disapproval. You said that every paladin must practice some kind of art. What kind of art did you pursue? Ah, that. I used to embroider, and I still do from time to time. A treacherous blush covers Valerie's cheeks. It's nothing, I assure you. Just a simple task to keep my hands busy and keep the gloomy thoughts at bay. Nothing special. I see. So you're an atheist? You don't worship any deity? Right. I need no guidance from above. I have my own good conscience and my leader's orders to live by. You know, you don't have to follow etiquette and maintain good manners while speaking with me, if you don't want to. I'm aware of that, Valerie sighs, but I'm sure you understand that I am what I am. That's how I was brought up, first by my parents, then by my mentors in the order. Besides, I was born to a noble family, Valerie raises her chin proudly, so I rather enjoy the idea that my manner of speech differs a bit from the common language of the peasantry. You can just imagine how many social climbers have bowed politely the moment I open my mouth. I guess you have plenty of suitors. Valerie rolls her eyes. Sadly, you're right to suppose that. Even here in these remote lands, one can find offspring of many noble houses. All of them consider it their duty to kneel before me, begging me to walk with them in the garden. Valerie's voice overflows with contempt. If words were poison, you'd be dying a horrible death. Oh, and don't forget about the village oafs. They understand the concept of nobility perfectly well, so they realize they'll be punished if they dare make any advance towards me. So they prefer to stare from a distance, drooling. And believe me, I can very well imagine what they discuss in the taverns. Valerie shivers and jerks her shoulders, as if trying to shed the sticky, disgusting stares. You know, you really are quite beautiful. You're a reliable friend and a worthy ally. It would be a crime to ignore your beauty. I don't know if pursuing Valerie would lock off potential other suitors, so thank you for the conversation. As you wish, Valerie nods with dignity. I'm not going to approach that subject yet. We can later. Alright, so we're all supplied up. We're kind of half dead. I guess we can rest here for another day and get all strong again. Alright, that should be good enough for now, I guess. Remember, there's a 3-month time limit. But I'm not too worried about it because the first time I did it, it's raining pretty good here. The rain can also have an impact on the game world. You can get really bad downpours that are like blizzards.
I'll go ahead.
And you move slowly in them. It's kind of cool. But what I'm going to do, like I said, the first time I was through this, I beat it with plenty of time to spare. So we're going to head out with our team here. And we're going to head toward the Thorn River. Thorn Ford, Fangberry Cave. Oh, this way maybe? Someone on the road. Get ready. A jittery old man in squalid clothing shuffles up to you. His gray hair is unkempt, and he continually clenches and unclenches his wrinkled, freckled hands. When he stops and looks up at you, his eyes widen, and he tugs at his beard. Strange weather, invisible fog creeping out of the woods. Soars beyond the sky, obscures the sun and moon. Strange. The old man shakes his head, his eyes shifting about seemingly at random. I don't like this old man. Looks like the kind who can cast the evil eye. Who are you? The old man freezes for a moment. Remus, but that won't help with the fog. What are you doing here? Old man raises the thick eyebrow curiously. I do nothing. Breathe, walk, observe. The fog looks visible enough to me. I see more than ever. I've never seen so much before. The old man wipes his hand across his face and sighs wearily. But someone must look, and no one else can. Invisible fog? Does that mean you can find your way through it? The fog is wrong. It hinders your legs, not your sight. I wish not to try. I should probably go. The old man stares at you intently. You hasten? You should. Your rival wastes no time. He races, but in another direction. He searches for power. He'll find it. My rival? Do you mean Tartuccio? The old man tugs his beard again. He's not tall, but he wants to climb high. Beside him are those who could stand against him, and might yet still. What power is he searching for? Someone else's, old but forever young. That which was taken from another. That which gave joy and now gives death. How do you know we're rivals? I don't know, I see. You can choose where you set your eyes, usually. But can you choose what they see? Interesting. Can you tell me where he is now? He's in an old tomb, south of the trading post. Thank you. The old man nods. All the more reason not to linger. Farewell. The old man turns and walks away slowly, muttering softly. Once stolen, the land should be reclaimed. Once reclaimed, binded with the claimer shall it be. Binded, merged, joined by unbreakable ties. Claiming the land, claiming its pain, claiming its death. Which way's the world travel up out of here? This way? I guess we should check to see if there's anything along the path. Is our formation right? Yep. Anything over yonder?
I'll go ahead.
Alright, so that was a weird encounter with an old man, Remus. Now we have a few choices to make. Tartuccio is in an old tomb south of Oleg, so that would be there. I don't know why the names aren't showing up on the map. That's why. And then there's the bandit camp. If we look at Lindsay's journal, Tartuccio, our leader's ignoble rival, is searching a nearby tomb for a certain ominous artifact. Let's go there and intervene. We have 87 days left. Alright, so let's head down this way. Spotted the enemies. Let's try to avoid. I don't want any trouble right now. Oh boy. I'm gonna try to avoid some random encounters here at the start. A mound with a small barrow inside. The stolen lands are rich with traces of long-gone settlements and the ruins of ancient civilizations. Almost every year an accidental landslide exposes the door to an ancient tomb or the foundation of some destroyed temple. This location is a prime example of this. Let's go in, about half dead.
I'll go ahead.
At least my halo lights up the room. Protection from chaos by chaotic creatures, 23 gold. Summon monster and a garnet ring. Wonder if she can pass a skill check to summon a monster. Do another quick save. A gnome in gaudy purple garb seizes your attention. Of course, the scoundrel Tartuccio, who you know from your time in Reston. The vile gnome is standing on a small hill, expressing his discontentment in every way he can muster.
Let me guess, you're still dawdling. Should I make some tea in the meantime? Bake a pie, perhaps? Plant a small garden and harvest some cherries? Perhaps you'd be more comfortable wearing fool's caps and colored trousers. Then at least I'd be able to sell tickets. Come one, come all! Feast your eyes upon the slowest and the most ridiculous buffoons in Golorian!
Why hurry? The same end awaits us all.
Hold your tongue, gnome. I can hardly tell your twaddle from the buzzing of a fly.
Quickly now, if we don't find that artifact soon, someone else might seize it. Someone who's standing over there watching you right now, you fools!
Tartuccio turns his angry gaze upon you. He nods to his guards to draw their weapons. Don't you have some other pressing business to attend? Perhaps Jamani's quest to search for the Stag Lord?
I might ask you the very same. Aren't you supposed to be searching the local forest for some bandit boss in a horned hat?
Jathal, isn't Tartuccio's arrogance long past what you can suffer? I can find far better use for a companion such as you. The elf looks at you for a brief moment, then nods silently. She draws her weapon and eyes Tartuccio coldly.
I see my magnificent rival will stop at nothing, even at stealing the servants of his enemy. Let us see if your fools are even more useless than mine. Draw your swords and cover my retreat.
Jathal's gonna act on her own. Okay. Oh boy. Do an ear-piercing scream. And do something like that. Hypnotize. No. My mouse is double clicking, I have to get a new one. Alright. Charge.
This didn't work. I must continue.
You step in, Amiri. Is in her guarded stance.
Tear them apart!
Can you charge this guy? Yes, go do that.
This can't be over. This won't kill me.
Alright, we've got to up the ante a bit here. Inspire courage.
I'll survive.
Oh, Mary's dead already.
Training pays off.
Please.
I'm doing horribly.
Solid plan.
Get him, Valerie. Slow down time a little bit.
Forwards!
Nice.
Serves you right.
Perfect. Set off to Thorn Ford and the bandit camp. Alright, so what was that about? Thorn Ford. Follow Tartuccio's trail. He won't fool us so easily. We'll follow the trail and find their leader. Alright, what a mess. While we were resting at the trading post, our leader suddenly stared into empty space, moving his lips as if he were talking to someone. Then he said he knows where the bandits who attacked the trading post are camped. We'll never find the Stag Lord's fortress in all this ominous fog that blankets the area. But if we track down this gang, we'll be able to follow their trail. Off we go. We lost much time tracking the insidious Tartuccio. The bandits surely had time to disappear and cover their tracks. So depending on when you do things, we've got Jaethal now. And an enchanted longsword. Scorched fragment of a necklace. This item bears a trace of lost power. It seems you found a shard of a destroyed artifact. If you find all the fragments, an artisan with enough skill could restore it for you. Some expensive chocolate. I don't know if it checks. Yeah, it doesn't check all of them. Not bad. It seemed from afar to be but cracks in the stone, but turns out to be a faded image of the sun. A grinning jackal skull has recently been scratched on the top of the image. On closer inspection, one can discern the outline of a head with a single eye. Judging by the outline, this bas-relief once depicted the sun and moon. Now it's almost completely eroded. The image carved in the stone is almost completely worn away over the ages. One can still distinguish a sickle, a sword, and a skull with a single eye socket covered with a coin. Quartz, corrosive touch, silver embroidered purse.
The path is clear.
found something. Ah, a hidden room. And an ancient Cyclops coin, a memento of times long past. A well-grounded antiquities collector might pay handsomely for it. So we've got to heal up here.
I've spotted something.
So Lindsay disarmed the trap. I hope she doesn't blow it up in her face.
Just not my lucky day. Miserable.
Survive.
Less
I
gentle.
always survive.
Yikes. Good thing it wasn't something worse. A bas relief of the sun, long eroded. The vague outlines of four strange creatures have been carved upon it.
Tread lightly.
Artificial flower, silver inkwell, silver bell, and some gold.
Let us
Alright,
be
so
careful.
we've got Jaethal as a companion now. So let's look at her. She's an Inquisitor. Jaethal is an elf from Keonan, one who's not quite alive. The elves exiled her from their kingdom for her terrible deeds. Her search for a new home and a new patron has brought her to our leader's banner. She pays little heed to her companions, and when she does, she behaves as if she's ready to bite their heads off. She gives me the creeps. Let's hope our enemies are just as frightened. She's neutral evil. Really good stats. No constitution because she's undead. So she is an Inquisitor. Inquisitors tend to move from place to place, chasing down enemies and researching emerging threats. As a result, they often travel with others, if for no other reason than to mask their presence. Inquisitors work with members of their faith whenever possible, but even such allies are not above suspicion. Alright, so she's got some good saving throws. Cunning initiative. At second level, an Inquisitor adds her wisdom modifier on initiative checks in addition to her dexterity modifier. That's pretty awesome. So let's look at what she's got here. Detect magic, we know about. Orisons. Inquisitors can cast a number of orisons, or zero-level spells. These spells are cast like any other spell, but they are not expended when cast and may be used again. Cantrips. Proficient with all simple weapons, plus the longbow, short bow, and the favored weapon of her deity. She's also proficient with light armor, medium armor, and shields except tower shields. Ergothoa. Also known as the Pallid Princess and Lady Despair, is the goddess of physical excess, disease, and the undead. She's mostly worshipped by dark necromancers, the undead, and those wishing to become undead. Sometimes those who live gluttonous lifestyles make supplication to her, as do those suffering from a serious illness. Her faithful believe she was the first creature to defy Pharasma and return unnaturally from the boneyard and break free from the cycle of souls. Domains: death, evil, magic, strength, war. Favored weapon is the scythe. Death domain. You can cause the living to bleed at a touch and find comfort in the presence of the dead. Bleeding touch. As a melee touch attack, you can cause a living creature to take 1d6 points of damage per round. This effect persists for a number of rounds equal to half your cleric level, minimum 1. You can use this ability a number of times per day, 3 plus your wisdom modifier. Death's Embrace. At 8th level, you heal damage instead of taking damage from channeled negative energy. If the channeled negative energy targets undead, you heal hit points just like undead in the area. If you are undead, then you instead do not take damage from positive energy. Stern Gaze. Inquisitors are skilled at sensing deception and intimidating their foes. An Inquisitor receives a morale bonus on all persuasion checks made for intimidation checks and perception checks equal to half her Inquisitor level. Minimum +1. Starting at first level, an Inquisitor can pronounce judgment upon her foes as a swift action. Starting when the judgment is made, the Inquisitor receives a bonus or special ability based on the type of judgment made. At first level, an Inquisitor can use this ability once per day. At 4th level and every 3 levels thereafter, the Inquisitor can use this ability 1 additional time per day. Once activated, the ability lasts until the combat ends, at which point all of the bonuses immediately end. When the Inquisitor uses this ability, she must select one type of judgment to make. As a swift action, she can change this judgment to another type. And Death Domain. Alright, and she's getting Cunning Initiative this level. Awesome, so let's check her out. 5 points. So... my double-clicking mouse is really annoying. What does she get with the Wisdom bonus? All persuasion checks made for intimidation checks and perception checks. A morale bonus. Number of days. Oh yeah, bleeding touch. Alright, so should give her persuasion. Perception we didn't look at. This skill represents a character's acuity, which enables them to notice fine details, see danger coming, and tell when people are lying or otherwise behaving suspiciously. Your character's perception skill enables you to read secret messages, get hunches, notice creatures and details, search locations, sense motives, and so on. She's good at that. Knowledge of the Arcana. Character's knowledge skill enables you to identify magic items and monsters, such as constructs, dragons, and magical beasts, learn or borrow spells from spellbooks and scrolls, and recall knowledge about Arcana. Aha, that gets a +4. Let's do that. Alright, so her Oriasons are Daze, Resistance, Light, Acid, Splash. Virtue, with a touch you infuse a creature with a tiny surge of light, granting the subject 1 temporary hit point. Completely useless, I would say. Is there a reason for that? You direct a ray of positive energy. You must make a ranged touch attack to hit, and if the ray hits an undead creature, it deals 1d6 points of damage to it. 1 minute or until discharged. A spell imbues a subject with a touch of divine guidance, gets a +1 competence bonus on a single attack roll, saving throw, or skill check. Keep that in mind when doing skill checks. She can inflict light wounds, which cures her. When laying your hand upon a creature, you channel negative energy that deals 1d8 points of damage +1 per caster level. Since undead are powered by negative energy, the spell cures such a creature of a like amount of damage rather than harming it. And for a minute, she can get Divine Favor, which calls upon the strength and wisdom of your deity. You gain a +1 luck bonus on attack and weapon damage rolls for every 3 caster levels you have. And she gets a spell. She seems to be into necromancy. And she can get bless. What about Doom? Spell fills a single subject with a feeling of horrible dread that causes it to become shaken for a minute per level. I like Doom right now. Or cause fear. Affected creature becomes frightened. If the subject succeeds at a will save, it is shaken for 1 round. Creatures with 6 or more hit dice are immune to this effect. So it could be 1d4 rounds or 1 round. Even if they fail, even if they succeed the will save, they're shaken for a round. I think we'll go with that. I like Bane though too, but we have a scroll of that. Bane fills your enemy with fear and doubt. Each affected creature takes a -1 penalty on attack rolls, -1 on saving throws against fear effects. Let's cause fear. Boom. Complete. Neato. Alright, so do I just want to rest or use potions? I guess we'll quick save here and we'll head up out. So again, doing things in order and in certain order will change how the quests progress. So the bandits have had a chance to see us coming. How sweet, the first breath of fresh air after the stale, damp stuffiness of that tomb. The forest stretched an unending heath, replete with hills and gullies and patches of low shrubs. Ahead, the trail of Tartuccio and his companions had gone cold. Should we try a lore nature check? +6, it would be Amiri. But we'd not give up so easily. Whether the trail went cold or not, it was one we had to follow. Oh no. Let's follow the... Well, we should be looking for the bandits, really. Where did Harem go, by the way? Did he take flight too? Because I want to see where he went. Really? Is he still around here? Can we talk to him? Harem just bounced out. With Tartuccio, so let's see if he would join too. So should we follow his trail and waste more time when the bandits are covering their tracks? That's the question here. To tell the truth, we had more important things to do than chase a flighty gnome. I'm leaning towards that. Let's try the lore nature check. Succeeded. No blade of grass was bent. It must have had enough time to straighten back up since whoever last passed through. But the heath's dry earth preserved the prints of little shoes. Our eyes to the ground, we followed the trail. We walked and walked until finally we came to a huge gully, the dried-up bed of a river of yore. But what is this? At the edge, the grass was trampled down and the soil turned up, and claw prints, lots of them. We'd stumbled upon a fresh battlefield, and here the trail split. One set of footprints walked away from the battle and down into the gully. The brave footprints that faced down their enemies followed the path along its edge. Let's detect magic, any traces of magic in the surroundings. Who's going to do that? Anybody? It's no big deal. And here the trail split. One set of footprints walked away from the battle, down into the gully. The brave footprints followed the battle line. We discovered traces of a spell, apparently from the illusion school of magic, near where the lonely trail descended into the gully. Let's carefully study the trail that led down into the gully. That's where Tartuccio went. To our surprise, we discovered that the little shoe prints turned into little clawed footprints on their way to the gully. It was as if someone from Tartuccio's band was wearing shoes and then either took them off or grew claws and jumped into the gully to avoid battle. What about the path along the gully? The path was frequently used. In its dust we saw both set of footprints together. It was clear that those who had no claws left the bundle surrounded by those who did. So Tartuccio went down into the gully, and something or other walked the path beside the gully. Let's try another nature check. We tried to imagine who or what left those claw marks. Failed. Unfortunately, we could not determine who attacked Tartuccio and his companions. However, we could discern that there were plenty of attackers and they were rather small. Let's follow the single print of footprints down into the gully. The way down was steep and took some time to reach the bottom. Walking on the loose soil was difficult. The clawed footsteps were easy to spot. The bottom of the gully went downhill deeper and deeper. Finally the footprints turned, whirled up the steep slope, and disappeared at the gully's edge. We couldn't but admire the animal agility and clever claws of the creatures we were following. The slope before us was as tall as 2 men, and ended at a hanging crest. Climbing such a slope would be no easier than climbing a sheer wall. However, long, steady-looking roots stuck out from the ground from the top. Mobility. A Sirius at a -3. There's no way he's going to be able to do that. I thought Lindsay was mobile. Well, there was one brave hero among us who decided to try his luck and climb the route. Oh, we get to pick. Great. Alright, so let's pick Lindsay. Succeeded. After tugging on the root, Lindsay took a deep breath, grabbed it with both hands, and began the difficult ascent. Pushing with her feet against the slope and grabbing the root with both her hands, she climbed higher and higher. Only her heavy breathing and the faint creaking of the root broke the deadly silence. Suddenly, dust poured down from the top of the slope, and the root began to slide from the ground. Keeping her wits, Lindsay shifted her weight to her legs and froze. After a tense moment, she continued her journey and soon had reached the top of the slope. After catching her breath, she lay on the ground and offered her hand to help the next of us up. After climbing out of the gully one by one, we easily found the clawed footprints again and moved forward. The air grew tense. We sensed we were approaching our target, and our intuition proved correct. Oh boy.
Just letting the ink dry.
And we didn't rest.
Share your will.
Anything is possible.
And let's get a scroll of moderate wounds for Lotharius. 2d8. I should have used that on Amiri.
Adventures call to them.
Well, we're in a little better shape. She needs to drink a potion or 2. Or 3 at that rate. 1d8 plus 1. Alright, let's forge ahead.
I'll go ahead.
I don't know what we're expecting to find.
Listen to me. A dragon, huge, sparkling, flew down to me from the sky and told me a secret. A great relic that will win the kobold's glory is hidden somewhere nearby. Enough of this pitiful existence. Search for it. Search and bring it to me.
A kobold with unusually purple scales stands a full head above his tribesmen. And he speaks in the suspiciously familiar voice of Tartuccio, the gnome. Dragon, glory, dragon! The voices of the kobolds rise in excitement. We know the mites under the old sycamore. They possessed a magic treasure, very ancient. Stop deceiving these poor reptiles, Tartuccio.
How? Here, you fools, I mean tribesmen. Don't listen to his lies. I shall bring you to glory. Just help me find the relic and stop this trickster.
Uh-oh. Wow, there's a lot of them. Alright, Lindsay, sing your song. Mirror Rage, Jaethal. Won't use our Bane ability just yet. She should use Divine Favor. You can use an ear-piercing scream. Valerie should use the Shield of Faith.
A solid plan.
Tear them apart! Yes!
Oh, is that it? That was easy enough. There's an imprint on the ground near the empty chest. Looks like another chest of the same size recently sat beside this one. Food. I guess we can take it. I mean, haggis, flour, onions, meat. Flour, butter, rice. Cromwell was carrying a silver spoon, and that one was a pearl. So the mites under the old sycamore have some sort of relic he's after.
The path is clear.
Alright. Onwards to glory and victory.
I feel tired.
Notable patriarch of the free world, the old sycamore can be seen for miles around. No other sycamore in this area has grown as high. The reason this one in particular reached its enormous size remains a mystery to the locals. So we're fatigued, cannot charge, and takes a -2 penalty to strength and dexterity. Doing anything that would normally cause fatigue causes the fatigued character to become exhausted. After a complete rest, fatigued characters are no longer fatigued. Alright, so let's manage our healing here. We're going to do some hunting. Valerie's going to help out with that. Camp Camo. JFL's gonna watch the camp. Alright, nice, nice. Camp camouflage was successful. Hunting took 3 hours. We're not exhausted anymore. And we still have rations. But we may need more. I forgot to buy rations from Oleg.
Greetings.
Keston Gares, the former captain of Germandi, Aldori's personal guards, nods to you as though you'd seen each other in Restov only yesterday. He limps noticeably and his clothes are stained with blood and looks every bit as grim and focused as when you first met him. But this time you also sense a hit of excitement in his eyes.
I have urgent news from Restov. The investigation that I've conducted at Lady Jamandi's orders have proved your innocence. Tartuccio was and still is the Pataxian spy. That dreadful night, it was him who had opened the gate and let the assassins in. It appears that he had planned to gain the barony and Eldori's support, only to later place these lands under the command of his true patron. King Irovetti is no stranger to intrigue, and likes to use others to do his dirty work. Anyway, Lady Jamandi sends her apologies.
No problem.
We almost had Tartuccio cornered when this damned mist fell. First we entirely lost our way, and then stumbled right into a bandit ambush. My people can barely stand, so I would be grateful if you would help us capture this Tartuccio. He must be somewhere nearby. Bring that scum to Oleg's trading post, dead or alive. The Sword Lords will remember this favor.
How did Tartuccio manage to fool you?
That sly bastard has caused us no little trouble, that's for sure. When he showed up in Restov and announced he was going to join the expedition, nobody suspected a thing. Yes, a gnome, yes, a sorcerer, but so what? Even after that terrible night, some of my people were willing to bet money on you being the spy. His overconfidence was his downfall. Tartuccio's henchmen, it seems, imagined they could safely meet with Pataxian spies in the town's seedy underbelly. But Restov is the ancestral home of the Eldori, and Lady Jamandi is respected not only by the aristocracy and the common folk, but also by those on the other side of the law. We received a message from the slums. A good friend, who wished to remain anonymous, suggested the Sword Lords take a closer look at a certain guest from Patax. Jamandi immediately sent for me and ordered me to capture the spy, all very quietly, of course. He told us everything, and not only about Tartuccio. I doubt that Irovetti was pleased to hear of his agent's failure.
A nasty grin crosses Keston's face. What can Pataxian spies hope to find in the stolen lands?
Pataxian spies are much like magpies. They'll grab anything that catches their eye. Information, treasure, artifacts. This time King Irovetti had a chance to seize the entire Stolen Lands region, and at the Eldori's expense. I'll give you some advice for the future. Be wary of the Pataxian king. He's truly a snake of a man.
Gares is the name of a noble house in Brevoy, is it not? You're a noble then.
Used to be. It's only a name now, nothing more. The House Gares are a noble family in Brevoy. They own several mines in the Galushkin Mountains. My father Evan is cousin to Lord Howland Gares, but he's my father no longer.
Why is
In
that?
any case, I brought shame upon my name and was punished accordingly. The family disowned me. I fled to Restov and took up the life of a simple mercenary, until I received an assignment here in the Stolen Lands.
Care to tell me why you were exiled? You've asked me a favor, I'd say you owe me an explanation.
Fair enough. For Gares, the prosperity of the house and the honor of the name stands above all else, and I was betrothed to a widow from another noble house. This union was of great importance to the family. However, 3 months before the wedding, I met a commoner girl, gentle and pure, and we fell in love. I would have rather died than leave my Tanya, so I decided to break off the engagement with my noble bride. I could never have expected what would follow. My father was furious. I'd set a pointless love affair above the interests of the house. He expelled me from the family and ordered to leave our lands under threat of death.
Wow.
And Tanya, her mother was seriously ill, and she stayed behind to care for her rather than follow me into exile. Thus, I was on my own, disgraced, without a name, and without love. Don't imagine that I ask for pity. Everyone gets what they deserve.
Let's go chaotic good here. I'd say you deserved a better fate, Keston. True love should not be punished.
What's done is done.
I would know more of House Garess in your homeland.
Well then, ask away.
Tell me of the lands you grew up in.
House Garess owns a number of valleys and gorges in the Galushkin Mountains. The landscape makes these places easily defensible, and they're rich in ores and everything else the depths of the earth have to offer. It is a place of rare beauty. When I moved to Restov, I couldn't get used to it for a long time. There was nothing but sky between the roofs. No mountain peaks anywhere in sight.
Tell me of House Garess.
It is an old and renowned family, one of the most influential in Brevoy. A long time ago, the Garess house entered a pact with the dwarven clan of Golka. This proved to be of great benefit to both parties, and they've supplied the ore for our forges ever since. Lord Howland even took the son of the dwarven leader as his ward. Who would have known where this would lead? The same winter that Brevoy lost the Rogarvia dynasty, Howland's only natural son, Bren, went missing in the mountains. Thus, Toval Golka, the Lord's dwarven ward, became heir to House Garess. The lad has it tough, though. Too many believed Howland should have chosen someone of his own blood to be the heir. I would imagine my own father had similar plans for me, but we all know how that went.
Rogarvia. The former ruling house of Brevoy, House Rogarvia, was founded by the descendants of Coral the Conqueror and Myrna Rogarvia, daughter of Niko Sertova. Most members of the house disappeared mysteriously in 4699 AR, an event called the Vanishing. The house built a ruby fortress in New Stettin on the shores of Lake Raykal as their stronghold. The Rogarvians were known to be ruthless rulers who did their best to hold Brevoy's disparate houses and factions together. The house's motto, "With sword and flame."
As you wish.
I'll see you later. Farewell. Deliver Tartuccio to Keston, dead or alive.
I'll go ahead.
Chief Soot Sail. Cowardly traitors, sons of a pike, return the relic. Coward, turn, Elic. Silly, silly kobold. Go look at your relic, your dungeon. Look under tide, look under bed, under table. Ha. Silly kobold have no bed and no table. Search your eggs. You lose relic and blame mites. Accuse queen. Lies, Chief Sootscale, not silly. The kobold leader shakes his weapon at the insult. Lies, Chief Scale. The kobold crier diligently copies the words and gestures of the chief, swinging his weapon. It seems both groups are but a breath away from battle. So warlike. It's like a miniature version of the Taldan Imperial Chronicles. Stop. What's going on here? Seneschal Vagic. The little mite jumps in place. Stranger, stranger. You see, yes? Silly kobold attack mite. Insult us, our magnificent queen. Lies, might thief, steal relic from kobold. We revenge. Help us, stranger. Kobolds, tell me more about what happened. I chief, I name Sootscale. Kobold might live here long, live peace, but now might thief, steal our relic. Thief, teal, elic, echoes the crier enthusiastically. How do you know the relic was stolen by the mites? Might tricksy, but Chief Sootscale is more tricksy. I call. New shaman come. Shaman Tartuk know who stole relic. Tartuk good. Tartuk, ud. Jathal rolls her eyes. And so again to be the judge, to weigh and balance trivium, decade upon decade. What is this relic? Relic key. Kobold take relic. Enter sacred hall. Did you really attack the mites? Revenge, might coward. Kobold come, might run. We come, take them relic, go. Let they give back our relic, we give back their. Where is Shaman Tartuk now? Shaman was dungeon. Did not enter sacred hall. Might collapse our entrance. Kobold wrath might. Kartuk is not a real kobold. He deceived you. Soot scale not stupid. He no real kobold. Chief puffs up his chest, rejecting the insult. That's clear to me now. Mites, I want to ask you a few questions. Small Mite bows comically. I sent a Salvagic. Here our magnificent warrior queen, Bada. He points at his large companion, adorned with the hide of a wolf. Queen defeat scary wolf battle. Vanquish 100 enemies. Charm 100 hearts. Queen Bada allow you speak her. May sit. We understand, he says generously. Legs tremble when see such beauty. My queen, why did you fight the kobolds? The Mite Queen shakes her head sadly. We live here long, kobolds and mites. We live peace, friends, trade. Together hunt good shaggy animal. Got it. Sweet. Long ago, Chief Kobold and our old king make a good alliance. 2 branch old sycamore we take, charm and give to each other. This be relic. Kobold have one, might have one. Not long ago kobold come. Yeah, we thief, take our relic. Silly kobold. Why do you need the relic? 2 relic, the key give entry to sacred hall. There, under old sycamore, 1 key for kobold, 1 key for might. Each can go hall, all fair. Why do the kobolds think the relics was stolen by the might? Kobold chief silly, ugly, old. Senescal and other mites giggle at these words. He lose last mind. Listen new shaman Tartuk. Shaman not so ugly. Bada smacks her lips in approval. But angry, tricksy, say wicked might. I catch him and make crown from his scale. Pretty crown, purple. Do you know where the purple shaman is now? He proud dungeon near our house. We see he wants but not catch. Want find shaman, look underground. You should make peace and search for the relic. I would hear my companion's advice. Why support either? Do you think they'll ever listen to you? Let us battle these little ones, both groups, and be done with it. It's up to you. 1 second. Having some technical difficulties. But we should remember that living among such creatures could be dangerous. The kobolds and mites are aggressive, poorly organized, and unreliable. It's better to exile them or not interfere, lest we entangled in their unworthy deeds. You should make peace and search for the relic together. Never! The chief hisses in animal rage. Death to traitors! The Mite Queen swings her blade. We no retreat. Choose who support, stranger, or enemy us all. Well, I'm gonna side with the mites and Queen Bada. You interfere in a war you have no stake in. I hope you know what you're doing. Sweet! Stranger, go my cave chamber. Talk. Kobold, be afraid. Insult, blood, wash out.
To victory!
Let's help the mites out here. Think we can get them a little trouble.
Tear them apart! Let us strike as one!
Nicely done. Are there more? No. Unless they went that way. Ooh, these kobolds are rich. That one was. Kobolds collect little treasures. Alright, so I sided with the queen because, for the obvious reason that the kobolds are being misled. Oh, there is more battling over here. Let's get these shamans. Uh-oh. This might be a little tricky. Get him. More fighting. Collect my treasures first. Bone Shaman had a scroll of True Strike and ear-piercing scream. Masterwork light crossbow. Scroll of True Strike. You gain temporary intuitive insight into the immediate future during your next attack. Your next single attack roll, if it's made before the end of the next round, gains a plus 20 insight bonus. Additionally, you're not affected by the mischance that applies to attackers trying to strike a concealed target. Alright, so that would be good for her. She can use that normally. She can use the Shield of Faith normally. Onward to might victory.
Enemy near.
Oh my. Well, I was not expecting this.
Unworthy.
Unworthy? Let's see if we can put them to sleep.
So tired.
No sleep?
Can't keep this up much longer.
Serves you right.
Whew. Some dangerous lands.
Esme, Axel, yes.
Silver embroidered purse, decorated scabbard, and a coin.
Esme,
Well, we're expending her first level spells, but crumpled letter, which we'll read. Another fragment of a necklace, Rosslandic coin, Rostovic Ranger's broken arrow. This item once belonged to an ancient Brevin and may be of interest to an antiquities expert. Well, he wasn't very well prepared. Let's read the crumpled letter. My dear Kenneth Plamer, with your desire to pursue a new archaeological mission in mind, I spent a few hours in my library today and identified a location worthy of your research. In the northeastern part of the River Kingdom lies a region called the Stolen Lands. Many antiquities can be found in such places. No doubt an inquisitive researcher would be able to find old coins, significant cultural remnants, and even pieces of artifacts that might be restored. All of which he did in fact find. Naturally, you shall require the services of a specialist to evaluate your findings during your travels. I have no doubt of your ability to recruit such a specialist once you arrive in the Stolen Lands. Such contacts can typically be made in large cities or settlements. You would not want your return journey encumbered with items of scant value or interest, after all. Before you set off, it is my obligation to warn you that this place is untamed and can be perilous. Watch not only for bandits and monsters, but also impassable swamps and dangerous open plains. Should you decide to visit the Stolen Lands, I strongly urge you, Kenneth, to hire a professional guide and, better yet, guards. It's wise to take precautions. I should appreciate greatly if you return with a few amusing curiosities for me as a token of our friendship. Your true friend, Agnes Briggan. And we did pick up that longsword, which is a +1 longsword. Give that to him. Now he's doing 5 to 12 instead of 3 to 8. Pretty cool. Like playing a melee character.
Tread lightly.
So he didn't hire any guards and he didn't take the advice of his friend. Holy cow. Giant frog. I wish we could assess the danger of a giant frog. Let's look in the Encyclopedia Bestiary. These creatures look like normal frogs with moist, mottled, blackish-green skin, but grow into truly monstrous size. Giant frogs have razor-sharp teeth lining their mouths. They're 6 feet long and weigh 200 pounds.
Here.
Let's look what charge does. Special action that allows you to move up to double your normal speed and attack during the same action. You must move before your attack, not after. You must move at least 10 feet directly toward your designated opponent. You must have a clear path towards your opponent. After moving, you may make a single melee attack. You get a +2 on the attack roll. Take a -2 to your AC until the beginning of the next turn.
Done with waiting.
Let's have everyone rush this giant frog. She can inspire courage. We're all gonna charge this thing like crazy. Yeah. Oh. Whew. That was fun. What happened? Oh, she's inspiring courage. Let's turn that off. So charge wasn't an ability I used a lot in my first playthrough, which I did not. I pretty much screwed it up horribly. I built bad characters, bone necklaces, jade, coins, and a garnet ring. And I got to about chapter 4 though, or chapter 3, and decided to start this Let's Play.
Applause, please.
Nicely done, Lindsay. What do we have up here? Someone with foul, a rapier, turquoise. So were these his guards, maybe? They didn't come too well prepared either. Come on, Lindsay, unlock it.
Anything else?
Enlarged person, golden trinket, silver inkwell. Yeah, how about this one? Wand of lead blades. 17 charges, caster level 1. All melee weapons you're carrying when the spell is cast deal damage as if one size category larger than they actually are. For instance, a medium longsword normally deals 1d8 points of damage, but it would instead deal 2d6 points of damage if benefiting from lead blades. So that's a pretty awesome item. Who can use this naturally? She definitely can't use it at all. She wouldn't want to use it. I guess I'll give it to him. 17 charges. I hope we can get a lot out of that. She should have a potion of enlarged person. She still has bless, bane, ramp, enfeeblement, raise dead. Let's get an acid flask in there. Jathal's all decked out and everything she can use. She can probably use bane naturally, right? Yeah. I think Lindsay can use ear-piercing scream naturally without a skill check. So that's good. She could try to summon a monster. Don't know how useful that's going to be. Let's just take that off her and give it to Sirius. Who's a serious combatant at this point. And for her, I'm getting down the trunk, Lindsay.
Applause, please.
All done. quick save fiend. Never know when you're gonna run into giant poisonous frogs. I think there was a mobility check back here that I didn't check out, but get to that. Oh, kobolds.
The path is clear.
How many of them, I wonder? Can anyone sneak? I don't think so.
You cannot stand against me.
I like our luck against kobolds. Oh! Nice shot, Lindsay. She's writing you out of the story. Oh no, Kobold Alchemist. Get him quickly before he fires off bombs. That's what I was afraid of. Janthal caused fear in the Alchemist. He's feared. Excellent. Now he's back though. And he's throwing bombs. Oh my goodness. This is not as easy as I expected it. I was not expecting a Kobold Alchemist. That's what it is. You can't, you know, to expect the unexpected. What is this? The entrance to the mine has recently been cleared. It appears the kobolds have made use of this path. Those alchemists are buggers, man. They throw bombs at a rate of speed and they just take you out. Potion of reduced person. That's what I like to see. That's what Valerie should have. So the good thing about reduced person, causes instant diminution. Oh my gosh, I can't pronounce that. Diminution of a humanoid creature having its height, length, and weight and width, and dividing its weight by 8. This decrease changes the creature's size category to the next smaller one. Target gains a +2 bonus to dexterity, a -2 size penalty to strength, and a +1 bonus on attack rolls and AC due to the reduced size. Melee and ranged weapons used by this creature deal less damage. So this basically increases her AC by 1 and her attack rolls by 1. Good for tanking. And my eyesight's getting a little poor for the night. I've been on the computer all day. It's getting harder to read the text, so I think I'm going to...
How curious.
Well spotted, Janthal. Got a nice coin. Where was that mobility check? Somewhere around here. I don't want to get too far into kobold territory. The mites are fighting them, but you never know. Chief Soot Scale could be a tough one. Alright, here's a mobility check, so let's save. And head on up. Lindsay will climb the hill.
Miserable. Last chapter.
Oh no, she failed and we got hurt. And we're all pretty close to death. Can you die from that? You can!
Survive.
Last chapter.
I did not expect that. I just wanted to see. Alright, so we want to tap that mobility check. Somehow she passed the 22 check.
I'll go ahead.
I won't attempt that one just yet. Jaethal seems to be the lucky one finding all the good loot.
The path is clear. Enemy near.
Tear them apart!
I could charge, but I don't really think it'll be necessary.
A solid plan.
Keep this up much longer.
How many people does it take down the kobold? I know they're small and hard to hit. There we go. And the Might army marches off triumphantly. So I think pretty soon we're gonna have to rest again. Because we're walking around here half dead, and that is no good thing in the Stolen Lands. But at least we can... Oh, Bone Shaman up there? And kobolds. I'll head this way for now. Oh, some elk. I'm not gonna go elk hunting. I was like, why? Amiri died of unknown causes. Vegetable silver ring. Another Rosslandic coin. A dueling sword, unidentified. Some cure light potions, some gold. Lindsay?
It's just not my lucky day.
Tread lightly.
Well, I don't think resting at this camp is a good idea because there's so many dead bodies. I think anywhere you get a free rest just can't be good. Oh, 2 potions of Shield of Faith. And they were outfitted, so... Oh, you can't use the dueling sword? It's exotic. Now I thought she had exotic weapon proficiency. Why can't she equip the dueling sword? No one can equip the dueling sword? I thought even Amiri had exotic weapon proficiency. Is that a bug? That's such a nice sword too. Well, I guess we sell it. Can anyone else attempt this? Asirius with his trickery? That's about it for trickery.
Watch each other. Forwards!
This is a bad idea. There's a Might helping us, though. That helps. Oh, there's still a kobold left. Come on, Mites, get in here. We're gonna need some help. These little buggers are tough to hit. Good job, Mites. Did he have a masterwork? He did. Scroll color spray. All creatures in a 15-foot cone. D&D Classic. A vivid cone of clashing colors springs forth from your hand, causing creatures to become stunned, perhaps also blinded, and possibly knocking them prone. Each creature within the cone is affected according to its 8 hit dice. 2 HD or less, the creature is blinded, stunned, and knocked prone for 2d4 rounds, then blinded and stunned for 1d4 rounds, and then stunned for 1 round. 3 or 4 hit dice, the creature is blinded and stunned for 1d4 rounds, and stunned for 1 round. 5 or more, creature stunned for 1 round. So that's an awesome spell, and it's firing down lightning here, and I don't trust it at all. I need to get indoors and quickly. Who can use this though? Difficulty class 11. Can Jayethal use it? Well, since he has the best magic device, 10, he's in the front lines. Let's give it to him. Whoa. I'm moving slow because of this heavy rain. I seek shelter. We're half dead already. Oh my gosh. Elks, watch out. This is dangerous out here. What have we found? The roots of the tree. Oh, climb the hill.
How curious.
Nice. A Frostlandic coin. Oh no. Lots of wolves.
The path is clear.
Do not go that way. Oh my gosh, this game is terrifying me on challenging. We are not prepared for really any sort of battle unless there's a might army backing us up. And there's not a might in sight. At least the lightning seems to have passed.
I'll go ahead.
What?
Let us
Oh no!
work as one.
Giant centipede. Oh, this is bad. Not bad. Oh, there's another one. They're coming out of the ground.
What a surprise.
Require healing.
This can't be over. I require healing.
Quickly. Quickly, there's a lot of them. Oh my gosh, it's terrifying. Enemies just gonna just pop out of the ground. There's a trap here. Oh wait.
Adventures call to them.
Jayethal? Where's your guidance? Give guidance to young Lindsay.
And Lindsay was called forth.
Don't blow up.
It failed. I'm sorry.
State your design.
How long does that last? 1 minute or until discharged?
I wrote it like I saw
You
it.
have my attention.
Anything
Alright,
is possible.
she has guidance. Nope. Come on, anything's possible. You can disarm it.
Applause, please.
Woo! We are really testing fate here. So on that note, I think I'm gonna call it a night. Get some rest here.
Ask.
It's not going to restore much health. but
Adventures call to them.
Yes.
nice heal there.
Here.
And Lindsay was called forth. I wrote it like I saw it.
I don't know if I want to start guzzling potions just yet. I may have to though. Let's quick save and go a little bit further. Let this beat up party. At least drink a potion. It's much better.
How curious.
Let's head out.
Share your will.
It's a big one.
I failed. I'm sorry. Anything is possible.
Boom. I get XP for doing that. I'm afraid more giant centipedes are gonna pop up. It's her problem. Oh, she's dexterity damaged. How bad is it? From those giant centipedes, she's down 2 points. It looks
Everyone counts on me.
I can restore her. At least 1 point of it. If not all 2. Awesome. Mites. What is this? The Mite Stronghold? We have found it. The roots previously blocking the way were pulled apart by magic or some mechanism. So we're going to go into the Mite Kingdom here. Hope you guys enjoyed. I always do that. Let's call this episode 3 of the epic Mr. Dumont's Neighborhood Let's Play. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Smash that like button if you did. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. If you want to see more of these videos. And I'll catch you next time here on Galarian, on the continent of Avestan, in the province of Brevoy, or the Stolen Lands actually, south of Brevoy. I know my lore a little bit. So see you then, thanks for watching, peace out everybody.